bank and running off with the money. Still to this day has refused to pay back any money, denies any wrongdoing, refuses to hand over his tax return documents or anything like that, and people are just pretty much starting to accept that none of that's just going to happen. He's not going to come clean. So whatever, we're moving on. So as we're watching this amazing action, the game is already underway, and the game is still live, but since I rejoined late because I had a blue screen in trying to Twitch this. The blue screen problem is still rampant, but so I just figured let's back it all the way up to the beginning, to turn 1, so you guys don't miss any action, and we're gonna be caught up pretty shortly because we don't have to wait. When we back it up a little bit here, we don't have to wait while the coaches decide what to do with their turns, etc., etc. So we're seeing the Mousillon Morningstars move with deliberate purpose, very quickly. It's all about the action here, and they are trying to seal off Stephen Anita Smith so that he doesn't catch a pass and then head into the end zone. At first, Dagobert de Paravon gets double blue arrows, decides to use his pro skill to re-roll, and ends up holding Anita Smith in place. And Mighty Zug making an appearance here to make up for the TV difference between the teams. He's going to blitz and push Dagobert de Paravon back. And now Garth the Ogre is going to run up there and make some contact, providing an assist. Stephen Anita Smith saying, back up off me. And looks like we're going to strengthen the screen a little bit over here so nobody can get at this dangerous thrower. Back up, no dice. Got some of that guard moving into place. And here comes the 2-die block. And boom! Earl of Duke is KO'd. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Shadow Webster in the chat. What's going on, Shadow? Coach Shadow. Is CoachShadow.com still up? That was a dope website. Very glad to have him back. A member of the MML took us a short hiatus and is back. So we're glad to have him. Looking forward to seeing him around on the farm. The creator of the Norse Tea as well. And back to the action here. The Bretonians respond by knocking Stephen Anita Smith to the ground. And Shadow, in case you're confused why this is backed up, I didn't want anybody who tuned into this Twitch to miss the opening moments of the action, so I just backed it up a little bit. And as you know, this is a lot faster than waiting for the coaches to decide on their moves, so we should be caught up to live action very soon here. I actually didn't get this far because I blue screened earlier while watching, so we'll see if I mean, I'm watching this for the first time, so some of you guys, if anything here is, you already know what's going down. I don't know what's going down yet, so you get to witness my reaction. Yes, Shadow Webster, www.shadow.com. I thought it was CoachShadow.com. But anyway, even if Donald can't make America great, at least I can see Bretonia great, right? Unfortunately, Archibald is about as effective as Donald is, so... Chase jumping in the chat here saying death to the BallStars. What's up, V Power V? Word. And we see a little side cage over here. And a Superman punch. Louis D'Epée is KO'd. And he's going to break out the smelling salts for him. See if he's getting back up. A little Bretonian jiu-jitsu in effect there. No, wait, was it? Who wrestled who? I don't know what happened there. Stuff's happening so fast. And Chase JJ wishing death to the BallStars. Konami has been very, very WWE in his talk about his team here. And almost a skull there, but the 1-die block turns out okay because of the extra training for the Bretonians, knocking Zug back, and a little pow action there. And here comes a Brett hit from Preach MJ. Stephen Anita Smith is going to get knocked to the ground. And how will the humans respond? There is a mark on the ball carrier now. The Ogre is in play. Ruth of Chris knocked to the deck by the mighty Zug. And here comes the 2-die block. With the reroll, Stephen Anita Smith is going to push Preach back against the sideline. And uh-oh, the crowd is pulling out their surfboards. And Preach is going surfing. And oh, the crowd stomps Preach to death. Oh, cod pieces everywhere on the screen. And the apothecary is actually brought out for a peasant. This is most unusual. This is what happens when the coach becomes way too attached. Priest has shown over the many seasons. He has been with this team, I think, since its inception, since its first season, and he's valuable. And this is the first time I've seen the Apple used on a peasant in maybe ever. But Coach Sturm just says, you know what, Preach got that. He's kind of the backbone of the team, and he actually had an apothecary used on him. The nobles in the audience are just besides themselves. They're like, oh, pshaw, an apothecary on a peasant? How gauche. And we see some double skulls, and Louis de Epée is going to put a mighty blow on Dick Raw Burger Crotch? Wow, what a name. And Dick Raw's going to get right back up with his burger crotch. And, yikes. Yeah, kickbacks are involved. Shadow Webster says that's why the nobles will accept it eventually. Oh, and Stephen Anita Smith saying, no dice, son. Back up, Dagobert. Don't stand in my way. Uh-oh, the crowd got the surfboards out again. And we're going to see another Bretonian surf. This time, it is a noble. And that apothecary that went to saving Preach, the peasant, is not there to save Godefroy d'Artois. And, oh, Coach Seston is going to hear it from the nobles after this match. That apple was instrumental. And there's another peasant. I believe that was Thunden getting kicked into the crowd. But all I see is cod pieces, so I can't be sure. Yeah, that was Thunden. Wow, a lot of death in this game. This is crazy. The human team has come to bash. Konami has talked that WWE talk, but he is walking that WWE walk. Crazy. A lot of slugging out here. Coach Sturm cannot be happy with what's going down. A little dauntless attack there from Frenchie. And, are we seeing a possible attack on Garth? Yes, we are. We're going to put a little mighty blow on him. And will his thick skull keep him on the pitch? No! He's going to be injured. The apothecary comes out, though, and he will make sure he gets back in play in this game. So both apothecaries used, and from here on out, injuries are going to stick. A failed dodge. Pro does not kick in, and Dagobert Pavon is going to be KO'd. A lot of death and destruction happening right now in this match. Look at that kill box. That is beautiful for you ghouls like Chase who love violence. There you go. Look at that violence. And the Morningstars are pretty much, it looks like, I mean the BallStars rather, it looks like they're going to walk into this end zone undisturbed. Yeah, it was interesting, Chase, I agree, for the Morningstars to target the Ogre out of anybody there, but it worked. So sometimes you do crazy stuff that seems crazy at the time, and it actually makes you look good. A little Bretonian jiu-jitsu there pulls down Zug to the ground. A little an extra step there is too much for that. And did the extra training kick in? Yeah, that's what happened. So now we're going to have the Morningstars, who are pretty much going to, I mean, they realize at this point they can't do anything about this touchdown. This is getting stalled out all the way. So it looks like they're just picking targets, and they're just going to basically pile on one dude and do what they can. Curious. They're not. They're basing up multiple targets. And here comes the 3-die block on Dick Raw Burger Crotch, and it's not going to be successful. And do the Morningstars want to burn their Reroll, they do not. They're going to hold him in place. Still, what a curious choice for the blitz. I thought everybody would pile on like one dude and then maybe foul him or something like that, but... And then again, you don't want to waste a foul on a lineman, unskilled lineman. And Ruth of Chris is going to get up. And it looks like the Morningstars have pretty much expended their options. No, they try to go for the extra dodge. They want Ruth of Chris clear Zug. Does he want to use his last reroll? Oh, you mean... Alright, so Chase will start... Oh, and that results in a KO. Failed dodge... KO, that's the problem, is when you don't have a turnover earlier in the match, then you're just like, well, let me just dodge this guy out of here. I got nothing else to do this turn. Let me just dodge this guy out of here, see where it goes, and you end up getting him KO too. And that kill box is looking bad. If those guys don't wake up, those knocked out players don't wake up for the Morningstars, this is going to be a long game for them. There is the stall that we expected. Yeah, Chase is saying AV8 is breaking like AV3 at this point. Yeah, and uh-oh. Now, so the humans have their scorer in place and in position, and what they're doing now is sending out the kill squad to try to finish off the peasants left on the pitch. And Count Benjamin of Carson is going to get knocked out! Oh! And at this point, Sturm is just lucky that, I mean, with his Apo burn, he's lucky that wasn't an injury. That could have been devastating. But there's still time. There's still time. Shadow Up says, yeah, pass the smelling salts out now. Yeah, I could say, I mean, the team trainers over there trying to get these Bretonians to wake up. I don't see any babes, so they're just going to do the best they can. And another armor break. A nasty uppercut. And this Dick Crotch Burger Snatch, whatever his name is, Burger Crotch. Yeah. Is it Dick Crawl Burger Crotch? Burger Crotch is not just a catcher. He's also a knockout artist. Chase is like, forget the armor. I agree. I don't see any. What armor? What armor? Yeah, that's a cool name there. Dick Crawl Burger Crotch. That's almost like Big Dick McGee. Those are cool names. Mama had a vision. Yeah, Webster says it does sound like a nasty VD. Chase, do not look up VD. And here comes the boom. The Bretonians have a response. Allow me to retort. I am Louis Le Poupou, and you, Dick Crot Burger Crotch, should go to the sideline and think about what you have done, and perhaps put some ointment in these places so that your crotch does not taste or smell like burgers. And what to do now? And for maybe one of the first times ever, Sturmjarl is going to end his turn in under a minute. And the BallStars aren't going to mess around with it anymore. No extra dice thrown. Backup no dice is going to run up in that end zone like he owns the place, because this is their stadium after all, as rundown and ramshackle a level 1 stadium as it is. The cheerleaders are going to dance with their outdated uniforms. And we got a touchdown. 1-0. And if these KOs don't wake up for the humans, it's going to be, for the Bretonians, it is going to be a long game. There you see the two injuries, or the one death and the one injury. And two of the 5 knocked out wake up. I guess it's better than nothing. But they will. The good news is they'll get this one chance to wake up, and then there'll be a turn, and then it'll be halftime, and then the other 3 are going to get a chance to wake up. So keep those smelling salts coming, because these Bretonians need every man they can get at this point. They are getting seriously roughhouse. They're getting beat the hell up. This is cray cray. Shadow says, Jason, 10 years from now, you'll realize how funny that VD comment was, and in 20 years, hopefully, he can't relate to it anymore. Yeah, the older you get, the less those things are a threat. So you settle down with one person, it's a good deal. That's just, you can't put a price on not being afraid of VDs anymore once you settle down with someone. That's the great part about being in a relationship. And let's see, we're going to go ahead and kick this ball off to the Bretonians. So I'm switching camera angles here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's actually still 8 Bretonians left on this field. It just seems, they just seem dwarfed in comparison to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah, there's 11 humans and spare on the sideline. So this is pretty interesting. So it looks like Seston, yeah, he doesn't have the personnel for a one turn, so he's just gonna bash, bash, bash.
I like running down the field.
By the way, did I say Seston? I meant Sturmjarl. I always mix those two names up when I'm announcing for some reason. And he'll sit the Earl of Duke back just in case. Just in case there is a riot and this extends the half by a turn. You never know. You never know. He's going to throw 2 men. He's going to keep 2 men back there. Okay. The ball is kicked. It looks like it's short, and there's a quick snap. The Bretonians get off the line quicker than expected and catch this defense off guard. Let's see where everybody's going to position themselves. Shadow calling for Sturm to give the ball to Preach. Give the ball to Preach. Give the ball to Preach. And let's let him run right up the middle. I mean, what a call. For those of you that may be tuning in late here, we had Preach MJ get surfed into the crowd, and again, this is a whipped up BallStars home crowd here, and they stomped him to death. And Preach and Sturm actually sent the apothecary out for a peasant, which is generally unheard of. And the apothecary was able to save Preach's life, although he did maintain a significant injury. He's going to suffer a stat down injury. I don't remember exactly what it was, if it was movement or if it was armor down. But the very next turn, or maybe even the same turn, then I think it was Godefroy, one of the blitzers, basically, one of the knights, ended up getting stomped to death himself. He got surfed, got stomped to death, and the Apo had already been used. So basically, Coach Sturm ended up trading a peasant life for the life of a knight. And the fallout after this game, I mean, if you're Sturm, you got to be concerned about what it's going to be like when you go back home. I mean, you probably want this game to last as long as possible and take as long as possible, because he's got to be afraid of, the consequences. The Bretonian nobles are they're gonna want his head on a plate. Trade a knight's life for a peasant. That's crazy. I mean, Preach has been around with this team since their first season, I believe, and he's definitely one of the most respected peasants, but he's not a knight, and he was treated like a knight. And maybe some nobles will take issue with that. And now you see the Bretonians trying to land their hits on the humans, but it's just not happening for them. Shadow says, oh, so Chase confirms it was a minus movement. And Shadow says, allegedly, Preach suffered an injury, allegedly, but that's your version, Jest. Oh! A nasty shoulder hit there from Seston. And the peasants are making moves again, but just nothing permanent. And that's the thing. You look at the BallStars sideline. I mean, these guys' uniforms are barely dirty. Meanwhile, look at that kill box for the Bretonis. They're just getting pushed around.
A loose ball is a dangerous ball.
And the Bretonians are going to pick the ball up. I imagine there's going to be a pass here. And there is a sorry pass. Oh, wait, it's a bounce pass. They're practicing their bounce passes, and we're going into halftime. The USA BallStars 1, the Mousillon Morningstars 0. And two of the peasants get up. And we're going to see the... Hey, wait! Who are you guys? Get off me! Don't... what the hell?
Yes, hello everyone. Hello everyone. This is Archibald Drum. Basically, Serious Jest was up here telling lies. Lots of lies, very bigly lies, and I just had enough, so I had some of my security guards escort him out. I told them if he escorted them out, I would pay their legal fees if Serious Jest tries to sue, because I have very, very good lawyers. They're the best, and they're just completely gonna sue and do everything I want them to do. So at this point, because lies are being told, it's not like Fox News where only the truth is told. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the rest of what's going on in this game from my viewpoint again, because I speak truth and Serious just lies, and all it does is lie. So let's take a look at what's happening here on the field. Obviously, there's a bigly difference in the score right now that I really don't appreciate. This is orchestrated by one of these nefarious organizations here. Of course, we're playing at this BallStars Stadium. This place is a complete dump. It's nothing like the Drumpf hotels that I like to proprietate. If you don't think that's a word, you can look that up in Drumpf's alternative dictionary, and you'll find it there. It's definitely a word. If I use it, it's a word. And now we're going to see the Mousillon Morningstars, which is Bretonia's team, and they're going to show you and all of the MML what real excellence is. Bigly. At first, we're going to see Coach Sturmjarl put his players in proper positions. It's very important that he does that. Some people say he takes too long. I think he's being deliberate, and it's very important he gets it right, because if he fails, he's going to have some big problems later on. Because we in Bretonia we're not losers, okay? And we don't like losing. Okay, meanwhile, I'd like to point out these stunning uniforms. The stunning uniforms that the Brets are wearing were designed by my daughter, Ivanka Trumpf. And her line is excellent. It's really, really great. It was recently just turned down by this horrible department store that refused to carry it anymore, and I thought that was just very bad. It was a very bad decision. and I don't subscribe to it. In the meantime, you're going to see Ridiculous Barry, one of my favorites as far as peasants go. You can't trust peasants unless you starve them, and then they're delirious and they'll do whatever you say. But that guy, you can pretty much trust. He has literally given part of his ankle, a piece of his ankle, in service of Bretonia. You see Ridiculous Barry. And then we're going to see a knight. This guy is the Earl of Duke is a guy that I trust. I often have dinner with his family. He comes from a good family, good stock, as I like to call it. And he's going to handle those balls like I handle the ghoulie.
This player likes to be well assisted in fight.
Louis Le Poo Poo taking a shot at this Dick Crawl Burger Crotch. That sounds horrible. I don't know what kind of name that is. It's pretty disgusting. He's going to knock him to the ground, and he's going to learn his lesson, hopefully, about burgers and crotches. Oh, Sirius just was lying, Shadow Webster. He was lying. He was in the booth telling these things that weren't happening. First of all, he was saying that the Bretonians are losing. I don't accept that version of the facts. That's just not the real facts. The alternative facts as they stand are that the Bretonian team is actually winning. They just haven't materialized it into an actual win yet. But because they have a winner's attitude, it doesn't matter that they have 3 people on the sidelines and are outnumbered and are losing in the score. None of that stuff matters because they're not losers. They're a Jump organization, and whatever they do, they're going to win because that's what we do here in Bretonia. So what we're seeing here is what I like to refer to as a of course, it's totally rational because I thought of it. I'm a very rational person. Everyone that meets me says that I'm totally rational, and everything I say is rational. So that's the way it is. That's the way it stands, and that must be it. I refuse to accept nothing else. And we have that big ugly ogre. Look how he's dressed. He's really ugly. I bet you he can't even get with a woman. Look at me, I date supermodels. I just go right up and grab them in the ghoulie. No one says anything to me because I do what I want. I'm a celebrity. I used to host a celebrity show. Now I own this team. Pretty soon I'll be president of Bretonia. And then you're going to have this insolent human, Tyrell McFantelberry. He's gonna run up and he's gonna put his smelly paws on the Earl of Duke, and nobody likes that. He's being very bad, very presumptuous there, and hopefully security's gonna escort him away from the ball carrier. We don't like it.
That's a holding maneuver, if ever I saw one.
And who let that guy in the field? That guy looks like he takes steroids. I bet you he's not regulation. He should be a secret weapon right there.
I'd go down there myself and nail that lineman's feet.
Look at this guy. It's crazy.
especially if a ball holder goes down.
And you're gonna have this jerk off here, Frenchy Fresh. Okay, anybody named Frenchy Fresh is probably a quitter and a loser. Okay, and he's coming over, posturing like he's gonna do something to the ball carrier. Obviously he's not. He's gonna sit there and look tough, but he's not tough. We're tough. All right, I think I've had enough fun with this. I'm actually gonna let Serious Jest back in the booth now. Maybe he'll tell less lies, but whatever, I don't care. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go do some rich stuff. I'm gonna hang out on a boat with supermodels and totally cheat on my wife and do whatever I want to do. All right. Thank you all for listening. I'm out of here. Britonia, make Britonia great again.
Son of a... Serious Jest back. Looks like I didn't miss much. Britonia's holding a cage. Yeah, not even in midfield now. They're all marked up. How's Sturm gonna get out of this? The first thing he's gonna do is look around, ponder the situation, calmly draw up a plan, and after a minute of thinking, he's directing his troops. There is a blitz from Seston. Comes up successful on Turl McFentelberry, who is going to be knocked off of the ball carrier. It's going to knock him back toward the Bretonian side and probably follow up. Although he's trying to decide that now too. Nasty shoulder lays into him. And the violence is strong in this game. A lot of armor breaks. Turl McFentelberry is stunned. He's like, what did I do? What did I do? Now, here's the thing. It looks like Frenchel Fresh is going to get it. And I was going to say, if you don't knock him down, it's a problem because his sidestep skill is going to allow him to keep a body on the ball carrier. But he is knocked down with a pow. And he's going to get back up next turn. But in the meantime, Earl of Duke is free to move about as he wants. The question is, where is he going to go? So Brett's pretty surrounded by the humans. And Sturm running out of time. There's 15 seconds, less than 15 seconds, and he's only moved 3 guys. Makes you think, what's he going to do with the rest of this time here? And you're going to see Louis de Epée move into place. Are we going to see, what's next? Is just marking people? Or? Okay, another more marking here. This is dangerous. I mean, remember, the humans have been, a lot of humans taken off of the pitch so far. And this is not, we're no longer in cage territory to me. Again, this looks like another situation where sturmjarl kind of ran out of time. And I'm starting to see the blueprint. If you want to beat this Mousillon Morningstars team, put him in a difficult situation, and he's just going to spend so much time trying to figure out a good way to beat it that he's going to run out of time and do nothing at all. Or run out of time, get down to the last 15 seconds, and then try to, somewhat salvage something. But, I mean, this is an easy blitz on the ball carrier. There's a bunch of guard on the other team. Definitely, Stu saying in the chat that Sturm has mentioned before that his worst enemy is himself, and I agree with that. I mean, I've said that time and time again. Sturm is a very good player. He's been playing tabletop Blood Bowl for quite a while and is really adept at positioning, but unlike tabletop, you don't get a lot of time here. 2 minutes per turn is not a lot of time to make. You have to make a decision and go with it. And Sturm will also always find himself, trying to make the best decision, bar none. You don't have all the time in the world. Sometimes you just a quick decision is better than no decision at all. We used to say something like that in the Marines. A hastily made decision, violently executed now is much better than a completely thought out decision made later with, obviously outdated information at that point. And by the way, I mean, the Bretonians lucky, though, that they've managed to hold on to that ball. But you know who's not lucky, for the moment at least, is Thunded. Thunden's going to be stunned again, getting backhanded by the Ogre. And there's another sidestepper that's going to put a tackle zone on the ball carrier, the Earl of Duke. Konami basically just systematically surrounding these Bretts like a boa constrictor, putting the clamps on them. Like they know what's happening, and it's almost like they can't do anything about it. He's getting out-guarded, he's getting out-positioned, and that's the problem, is when you don't make a move and you run out of time, you're basically giving the other side almost the equivalent of 2 turns to do what they want, and now they've out-positioned you. Again, 30 seconds passed. There's been no move from the humans. I'm worried that they're not going to learn from their mistakes. Oh, there we go. At 1 minute 20 down. Oh, 3-die block from Seston. Just, wow. Nuffle is just punishing him. He just unable to do anything with Frenchie Fresh. Frenchie Fresh is going to get pushed back. He's trying to figure out which way he's going to direct his body with his sidestep skill. It's just going to be a way. It's going to free up Seston. It looks like the Bretts wanted to make that push up the left sideline, but key to that was knocking down Frenchie Fresh, and they were unable to do that. You also got to wait, you also got to worry about if you break up one of the sidelines too quickly. You got that safety sitting back there, Dick Raw Burger Crotch, who we've talked about. And Sasser is going to mark up, Sasser Dodalis is going to mark up Stephen Anita Smith. Again, a lot of marking up by the Bretts, for a team that's been getting wrecked in the kill box. But I guess they're figuring, hey, we'll break out of this, just keep slugging, and we'll take a few of these humans off the pitch. And there you go. That's gonna be successful. Ruth of Chris gonna blitz girl head back or something like that. Girl head. I wonder if that's what a head. Girl head something. All right, we'll see. Ruth of Chris successfully blitzing but not injuring anyone, moving back into position, and Louis Le Peupeux is going to let Gallandier the Wicked have it. Oh, knocks him back. Okay, it was either that or both down. Didn't want to rest. Okay, knocks him back. And this is just a difficult situation for the Bretts, who again are running out of time. Down to 15 seconds. They gotta make a move. 10 seconds. And that's what he was looking for. Count Benjamin of Carson acting as the enforcer. But not able to put McCollum away, and the ball carrier is going to move next to the guard piece? Okay. There you go. Earl of Duke. Maybe as safe as he's going to get. This is not that safe, but it's as safe as he's going to get. And again, I mean, Sturm is making some smart moves here. Just the problem is those couple of turns where he just didn't execute quickly. He didn't get it done. He didn't make his moves quickly, and he dug himself in a hole. You can't do that. And what do you think this guy is thinking right now? What do you think the Earl of Duke is thinking? Oh, crap.
Likes to be well assisted.
You can see Louis D'Epée catch a pow to the face. In your face, Louis. That's from Colin Sakopic. Sakopic. Is this supposed to be like Colin Kaepernick? Colin Sakopic. And the humans also a little less slow, but still deliberate, taking their time, moving to the right places. I mean, the humans are just kind of boa constrictoring these Bretts, just little by little, just removing the right pieces at the right time. Well, they haven't removed anybody yet this half, so we'll see. We'll see if they can, but they're knocking the right people to the ground, closing in. It's tightening the noose little by little. And there you see Dick Crawl Burger Crotch move up, and with the sidestep, he can effectively block the ball carrier, Earl of Duke, from running up that sideline. There's a blitz from McFentleberry, and Seston's going to get injured. Oh, that is big. Smashed hand, and that strength 4 is going to be missed from this Bretonian squad. By the way, the other problem with, where's he at? With the dead Godefroy d'Artois, is you see he was a leader on this team. So that's going to cost this team a reroll as well, or that has cost a reroll for this team in the second half. So, yeah, Brett's taking a beating, Rand. Shout out to Rand in the chat. So Rand, initially, Preach MJ, one of the peasants, died, and Sturm, just out of pure nostalgia and affinity for for his the long-standing member of his team, broke protocol and used an apothecary on the peasant. And then, like, either the same turn or the very next turn, this knight over here, Godefroy d'Artois, one of the team leaders, was surfed, and he was stomped to death by the crowd. And so that apothecary that was used for Preach was then unavailable for the knight. So definitely Seston's going to have to answer to the Bretonian people when he comes back, using the apothecary on the peasant. And then not having him around for the night was not only gauche by their standards, but in that case, because it ended up in the knight's death, was just plain. I mean, that's almost treasonous at that point, That's tough. Again, this guy was a leader on the team. He's been around for a while too. Godefroy d'Artois. I mean, I'm pretty certain that if Sturmjarl had the choice between Preach and Godefroy, I don't think he would have made the same choice. But little did he know, when he chose to use that Apo on Preach, he was dooming Godefroy d'Artois to a death. No. Look, Chase is asking anything permanent for the evil humans. No, the humans are I mean, their uniforms are barely stained. They don't really look like they've been out here, but it looks like at most they've had a light practice today at this point. And there you have a dodge away by Count Benjamin of Carson, who's going to try to lay the smackdown on the ogre Garth, but is going to just push him and annoy him. That's right. Garth just pounding his chest, saying, "What? That's all you got, bitch." Yeah, Chase said, "Hindsight's 20/20." Yeah, but I mean, I think it's kind of one. I was really surprised that that Sturmjarl used that Apo on that peasant. That's really outside the handbook for coaching Bretts normally. But I guess this is one of those cases where I mean, Preach has been around long enough, and Sturm respects him, and I'm sure those two have had beers together, even broken the whole fraternizing or feudal system laws that they have about peasants being allowed to drink with coaches or people of any kind of social standing. And at this point, the Earl of Duke is just going to put the ball, knowing that he can't really protect himself, he's going to put the ball in the hands of Count Benjamin of Carson and just make it harder for the humans to get a 2-die block on him. The red die is in effect. Louis de Poupou goes for it. At first, it looks like he's not going to succeed, but he is able to push the ogre back and away. And I think Sturm is probably preparing himself for a follow-up 1-die block, peasant to guard piece over here. Ooh, a little dodge away, and again it looks like Sturmjarl is just running out of time yet again. This is bad. You cannot be a successful Blood Bowl coach if you are running out of time on every turn. You can't do it, not at the MML Pro level. So Rand is asking, does he have a level 4 or 5? Is it the level 4? So Preach is a level 4 peasant with agility 1 already. And now he's going to suffer a movement stat down as well. So, does Sturm say he's Apo worthy at this point? Because, I mean, level 4, yeah, but, again, I mean, he doesn't have any crazy skills that are outside of the peasant chain. No crazy stat ups or anything. If anything, he's got a stat down. So it's not like you can't replicate that. I think Priest just has sentimental value for Sturm, but being knocked down to movement 5 at this point, it's less value. Movement 5 and agility 1. The old grizzled veteran. I'm starting to think that this may be his last season with the team. I think Sturm will need to replace him more in the long run, but for now, I guess he needs him, or he felt like he needed him. I'm telling you what, though, I don't think he needed him more than Godefroy, because Godefroy has been a long-standing player with this team too for a long time, and Godefroy has a bunch of skills, like I said, including that leader skill. Very costly to lose him. But yeah, like Chase said, also surprising play from Sturmjarl, letting letting 2 players get surfed that way. 3 players, I think, ended up getting surfed. So it looks like Sturm's he's not pushing the envelope real hard here. Looks like he's playing for the tie. Does not want to give the ball back to the BallStars, and that's probably wise. And Konami, again, being very patient. Marking him up with 2 different players. He's going to make him dodge out of that. And Carson... See, that's why I get why he gave the ball to Carson, because he's harder to bring down. But Carson doesn't have the agility 4, so that's a 67% chance to dodge away. It's a 3+ dodge away. But he does have the dodge skill and no tackle on him. So Chase says if the Bretts get the tie, he'll be shocked. I wouldn't say shocked, but it would be an accomplishment. Yes. I think the tie is possible at this point, even if it's not looking likely, but it's possible, like reasonably possible. But Sturm has to get out of his own head, and you got to start finishing his turns on time for one thing. And now we've had, 45 seconds pass before the first block is made. You're going to throw it on one of the guys. You have to dodge away from these guys anyway. Maybe not. Maybe he's saying, don't. And that blitz is wasted. Steven Anita Smith is just going to maintain his position there. And this is pretty much going to force Count Benjamin of Carson to dodge away. But the blitz is also used, so where is he going to go? This is tough. I mean, are we seeing a potential potato, or? Shadow says the jump is going to be, and he's not even going to. Benjamin's not running from anybody. Carson's like, you know what? Back up. You don't scare me. And they should scare him because, that's just not a good situation now. Now he's got two humans on him, one of whom has Dauntless. Okay, a little better of a situation. A little better, but you still have a guard piece over here who... Girl headband. Oh, okay. Girl headband's not is going to be able to go over there and throw his guard. That's going to be a 2-die block, most likely, on Carson. This is... And you have a failed dodge. Bretonnians are going to use their last reroll to mark up that guard piece. And that block is ineffective too. And granted, the blocking dice are not looking great for the Bretonnians either, but I would not say that the dice are the main reason that the Bretonnians are losing and not looking so hot for the tie at this point. But again, you know, they are in possession of the ball for the moment. They're still, you know, they've got 3 more turns left in this match, and they're only down 1-0. So, you know, all Sturm has to do is showcase some of that brilliant play that we have seen out of him in the past to make up for some of the turns where, you know, again, he dug himself in a hole by running out of time. Dundon's going to get a bit of a clap back there. Bap! And he's gonna just fall and be non-existent when we hit turn 14. He's going to be seeing stars that entire turn. Konami is thinking about whether it's worth it now to make the push to get that guard piece to dodge out. And no, he's going to be content to go for the 1-die block. Looks like. No, he's not. He's going to throw a guard piece in there. There you go. That's the 2-die block you wanted. No, failed Dauntless though, so it's only a 1-die block. Guess the reroll has already been used this turn. Zug's gonna get busy. He's been kind of quiet. Yeah, Chase is pointing out it's not just the running out of time, also letting yourself get surfed 3 times is a bad look. Sacerdotalist is gonna get badly hurt. It's looking even more. Every turn that passes, it's looking worse for the Bretts. This has just been it just looks like Sturm is just getting out-coached, outclassed here. I mean, let's see if he can turn this around, though. I mean, I have faith in him. He is a good coach. He just gets in his own head sometimes, and, you know, you either see great Sturm or you see bad Sturm. And right now, bad Sturm is kind of in effect, but... that doesn't help. The dice are not helping him either, but you can't really blame it on the dice, but they're not helping. Dundon in the chat, cheering go Bretts. Not looking very promising for him right now. And the BallStars try to dodge away and make something happen, but That's going to be a turnover. Was that their opening play? Or no, that was toward the end there. All right, well, now the Brett's got some options. That's the funny thing about Blood Bowl, right, is you go the whole game getting your ass kicked, and then all you need is that one turn where something goes bad for your opponent, and if you play it right, you're right back in it. I mean, that whole right wide zone is now wide open. If they can clear this dude away, if they can clear the Strawberry Prince away, they could screen off this side with, get a pass going to one of the two blockers over here. Unfortunately, probably the better guy is going to be Louis Depe, even though he has the mighty blow. But he's also got dodge, and he can break it. He's got more movement. There you go. And that's so Sturm sees the opportunity. He's going to use the blitz on that, unfortunately, and he's going to wrestle the Strawberry Prince to the ground. Again, though, it's not optimal, but I don't know, the way things are going now, you may consider the potato up that right sideline. But again, now we're down to 45 seconds, and whatever Sturm does, he needs to do it violently. And there you go. Finally, he's making a move. Benjamin Carson's going to run up one more space, and he can get the it'll be a quick pass, but that's a go for it, and he's got no rerolls. So any blunders here, that's a turnover. So yep, he's good. All right, so he makes the go for it. Ooh, that could have. So that 5 that he used on the go for it could have been for the pass. It wouldn't have been caught anyway, but at least, I don't know, man. This is a bad situation, and the humans are looking like they're going to capitalize. They're not hesitating. And that has been the story here. One coach has been very violent in his decisions, or a lot more so rather than the other one, right? He is decisive. He make things happen. The other coach has kind of been second guessing himself a lot. He hasn't been making moves. He's been kind of like, pushing the decision back, being, I'm not sure, let me find a better way, and not making choices early, and then finding himself up against the clock. And you see the results have been much better for the decisive coach. Louis Le Poupou is knocked to the ground. Ooh, this is not good for the Bretts. Konami's going to motion for Steven and Anita Smith to go over, put a tackle zone on the ball. Shadow says Sturm needs to go for the long bomb. Is that before Carson blew the pass? And will Carson pay for his failed pass? No! He's going to stay on his feet. And now the clock's been running for a while, too. Now the humans trying to figure out what the best way to... Yeah, they're just going to cage around the ball. And the humans don't really need to score. They just need to keep the Bretts from scoring. And this is a good way to do it. Put all these players around the ball. Dauntless kicking in, and Frenchie Fish is going to push back the Earl of Duke. Earl of Duke can get over there to at least be a nuisance, but they gotta be more than a nuisance. The Bretts have 2 turns to make this happen. And as Moreshots would say if he was in the booth with me, I mean, the first thing you want to do on turn 15 is leave somebody in scoring position. So if anything else goes wrong, at least you got somebody in scoring position. And I think the humans realize that, Konami realizes the importance of that, and run somebody back there to stop that. So now humans have no, I mean the Bretts have no one in scoring range. So unless they, a lot of people would argue the first thing they need to do is dodge somebody in scoring range. Because like I said, whatever goes wrong after this, you don't want there to be nobody in scoring range. I mean, or you could even take like Ridiculous Perry and put him in scoring range. Somebody needs to be in scoring range. And Konami's smartly leaving his 2 strength 5 guys on the outsides of this ball right here, so it's not like they can't get, it's not like they can get blitzed into the ball. I mean, Turl and McFentleberry could.
Safety in number.
Sturmjarl decides to run Ridiculous Perry back the other way. So he's going to dodge the Earl of Duke out. Get him in scoring range or what? Only 40 seconds left and Sturmjarl has moved 2 players. And there's the blitz. See, I thought the blitz would be used on the ball, but it's cool. Whatever gets it done. Very ballsy. He's going to waste the go for it. Again, now he's moved, 30 seconds down. He's moved 3 players, and there is no one in scoring range. His blitz is used. He's still got 2 people laying down. There's 15 seconds. There's the failed dodge. No one is in scoring range. This game is over. Done deal. Konami knows it, and now Konami has every incentive to just go for the touchdown, and this should be relatively easy to surf Count Benjamin of Carson at this point. And the crowd has been whipped into a frenzy from earlier, and the BallStars having to spend their last reroll on the double skull. Still, I mean, at this point, none of this is game-breaking, right? Because, as we said, there's no one in scoring position, so... yeah. Count Benjamin of Carson is going bye-bye. The crowd gets out there. There's surfboards, and yeah, this is about to get ugly. It's about to get ugly. Will the crowd stomp Count Benjamin of Carson the same way? And there you go. Benjamin going surfing. He's into the crowd, and you see the codpiece shots there. This time the crowd does not hurt him, though. I think they kind of feel sorry for him at this point. Feel sorry for these Bretts, and they're just going to let him go. That ball is open. It is fumbled by Stephen wait, that's not Stephen Smith. That is Dick Kroll Burger Crotch. Now I will say the same thing about Konami. Although it's not crucial for him, right? Oh, he does have 1 person in scoring range. 1 person in scoring range, so he could actually score the touchdown. I don't know if Sturm is concerned with stopping it. If he is, then he can hit that 1 guy and take away the scoring threat and leave this as a 1-0 loss. Maybe that's a moral victory. And if anything, again, not to come down on Sturm, again, I think he's a great coach when he's rolling on all 4 cylinders. His positioning is solid. He's a solid coach. It's just that when he starts like getting in his own head and doesn't execute stuff and letting things run down to the last 20 seconds before he starts trying to move 8 guys, his play really suffers, and he's a different guy.
The attacker has an assist.
A little wrestling action right there. Little grabby grab. And Louis de Epée is going to hit Girl Headband. Girl Headband gets knocked to the ground, but no permanent damage. And humans trying to at least, take their pound of flesh. That's Earl of Duke laying it down on Frenchy Fresh. Frenchy Flash. He's going to go bye-bye. He's going to go down, but not for good. He's just going to get right back up. Looks like the Bretts have kind of lost their fight. Their je ne sais quoi. And Louis de Poupou, Doc and Colin Sackerpick down on the ground too. Yeah, this is kind of over. And there was the scoring threat, by the way. That was it. Konami's going to try to pick up the ball. Looks like he fumbled it. And it's a 1-0 victory for the BallStars. As I go over these stats, I'll invite these guys to the chat. See if we can get a quick post-game interview with them. Let's see here. And we get KonamiCode in here too, or try to get them in here. We'll see if they accept party invites. Hey, and we're joined by sturmjarl in the party. So, Sturm, tough loss. What happened there?
Oh, that was fun. Oh, and I blue screened.
Did you really?
I hope. At the end, I hope it won't matter, but
yeah, I'm sure.
maybe
So
you
blue screened in the closing screen.
I don't know.
Stat screen.
It seemed to be. Yeah, we seem to be okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So blue screen.
Yeah, 1-0.
Stat screen. Okay, cool. You may just need to. If you didn't get to validate it, then one of the admins will need to validate it. But
yeah, but I think it's okay.
Yeah. So what do you think? What were the key elements in this game that contributed to the loss, from your perspective?
Konami is a very, very good coach.
Oh, I just joined. Oh, thank you.
Welcome, Konami. Welcome.
Congratulations, Konami. Well, very, very, very well played.
What specifically did he do that made it very difficult for you to deal with?
Obviously his positioning was spot on, and I knew I was getting some surfing problems, but I was trying to trust and fend or something, and he just worked right around it and started pushing pieces off.
Did that take the wind out of your sails when that happened early?
Oh,
and
yeah.
You lost 3 players.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. I was already thrown off with the first blue screen. I didn't really set up any kind of defense. I was just happy. I'm just constantly waiting for the game to shut down. So I'm like, just set players up and see how it goes. But no, Konami played great. Yeah, it was just it was frustrating at times. I like Preach. I saved Preach, and then losing to one of the few nights I wanted to save dies after that. That hasn't happened in a long time. Like back-to-back deaths. That was tough.
So you broke the Bretonian handbook, and you actually and you broke feudal laws as well. It looks like you used an apothecary on a peasant, which is basically unheard of. And by the point when you did that, we were saying the nobility must have been like, oh, that is so gauche. How dare he do that? But then I think that must have been. If it was surprise or disgusted surprise at that point by the nobility, they must be up in arms right now and calling for your head after Godefroy d'Artois was killed shortly after, and that apothecary that was used on a lowly peasant was not available for that night.
Yeah. Obviously, hindsight is always 20/20, and it was early in the match. But like I said, coming into the season, Preach is he's a peasant blocker now. He's pretty much positional. He's a little bloaty, but without my fourth guard piece. He is my fourth guard piece, so.
Oh, he had guard. That's right. Okay, I was thinking he doesn't have anything special. I mean, he's got the tackle, he's got the block, and it's the guard that makes him important to you.
It's the guard. He's my blocker. And
everyone's special, okay? Even the peasants.
People matter.
But people matter. But losing my leader did not help. That was one of the few knights I actually wanted to keep. And, that did not help either. And like I said, my win without my sales after that. And it was in some ways a textbook Bretonian matches. Once you start removing those agility 3 pieces, the Bretonians kind of start folding like a house of cards. And when I was down to 2 knights, it's like, okay, well, let's see what we can do.
Well, so you talked about him being Konami being an excellent coach, and from our perspective here in the booth, it looked like to me, Sun Tzu has written these books, and Machiavelli, same thing about war. And I think a recurring thing that both of them have said is the best wars, the best wars are the ones where no shots are fired and you just win it without even having to do anything. And it's almost like Konami put you in these horrible positions and watched you self-destruct. Like your first move on some of your turns didn't happen until there were 30 seconds left on your timer. And we were back to, you're a guy that, when you first started playing in the MML, we all said, wow, really solid positioning. This guy knows what he's doing, but the clock is his biggest enemy. And then you got away from that, and you were, again, like for a while, the positioning was solid, and you were a solid coach without any clock management issues. And now you've kind of regressed this season where these are 2 games I've called of yours where you're beating yourself up. You're almost like, I can do this, but let me see if I could spend the next 45 seconds trying to find a better way around it. So it's almost like Konami just put you in a difficult situation and just watched you melt down. And then you made no moves.
Total meltdown. It was a total meltdown. And one of the things I was surprised, and I'm sure Konami was pretty happy with it, was how my tackle just did not kick in. I just could not get my tackle going. All those tackle pieces and lots of pushes, and of course with sidestep, that would just make the problem even worse. I'm like, no.
The block dice did not help you at all. But we were saying, definitely like the chat was saying, and I was noticing up here, it's there were at least 3 or 4 turns where you ran out of time and left him to exploit your situation. Konami, was that part of the game plan? Was that like, had you watched prior games from the Morningstars and you said, you know what, I'm going to just kind of sit back and put him in difficult situations and let him kind of run out of time or put him under the clock?
Oh, no, I always try and play as fast as possible and end my turn, with as much time on my time meter as I possibly can. That way it takes away, their opportunity to think out their next move. Because, most players, I would assume in the MML, while their opponent's making their moves, they're planning, okay, what's going to be my next move? How am I going to move forward?
Right.
And then, go from there depending on how their opponent moves. So if I do my moves quicker, then they have less time to think about how they're going to counter what I just did.
That's definitely a prevalent strategy among many coaches in the MML. So I was just wondering if you specifically tailored it to sturmjarl. Because, again, when sturmjarl is on, he is a very difficult coach to beat. But if you can get in his head and put the clock, make the clock his enemy too, then this happens. So, still almost in it though till the very end.
Oh, he was 2 rolls away from tying it. Really?
Yeah. When you came up with that turnover, the failed dodge, I thought he had the shot. You went for it and almost made it, but Count Benjamin of Carson unable to complete that pass. Was it maybe a mistake, Sturm, to give the ball to Carson to begin with?
No, I needed the strength at that point. I was down so many pieces. The biggest thing was when I was toying with that pass, whether I should have actually gone for it for the handoff, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. It was a fumble. No. So it was going to be a 1 no matter what happened.
Well, it was either on the catch or on the throw.
So I was glad.
Is when I pulled my piece, off from over in that side, I was like, wow, if he just sends that guy streaking down the side, he could totally screw me over.
Yeah, that's what he was going for, and he failed the pass. Yeah. But if that piece would have caught it, I mean, the block was unsuccessful anyway. So the guy that he wrestled down would have been free to make a 1-die block. But so he wasn't in the clear, but it was definitely a much better chance.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna. Yeah, I almost went for it there so that if I could get those 2 spots to do the handoff instead, I would have marked that blitzer. But I decided I'm like going, might as well just chuck it at this point. It was a frustrating game, but I mean, I knew this going in. It was going to be a tough game, and Konami just, like I said, I got outplayed, and I bowed to the Konami. This is going to be a interesting play pool coming up.
No, yeah, you were super awesome. Your team's really good too, and you obviously know how to play them pretty well, and you built them to do specific things. You know, like a lot of the time, you know, especially with that last 2 roll, I try to just do my moves as quickly as possible, and then put the other coach in a position to where they're failing rolls and missing passes and stuff. So a lot of the time, it's like, okay, well, I did the best I can, and I just gotta, put it in Knuckles' hands. Praise be to Knuckle.
You did a great job.
Chase also echoing, well played by Konami. Shadow Webster says, don't worry, Sturm, I've had games like this. Both of you are excellent coaches, and Squiggy echoes what Shadow said.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough play pool this season for me because I don't have any tackle really except for that one piece. And he kept tying up that tackle piece, and I was like, okay, well, this is going to be tough to get the ball. I knew getting the ball was going to be like near impossible. So I just, I use my usual strategy of I take my, my blodging sidesteppers and just try and pin him up and just try to, circle him and wear him down till the last couple turns and make him make a move like that.
By the way, Konami, one thing you might be disappointed in is you didn't get credit for any of those kills. Because they were serfs, so they won't count towards the stats. But it was
I'm okay with that.
It was
I'm
shocking.
okay with that.
I don't get surfed quite that often, and when I don't know if, like I said, it was an off day for me overall, and when I started committing to the wide zones, I'm like going, I know this isn't good, but I just don't know what to do. So I just get, and I'm like, I know this is not good, but Konami made me pay for it too. I mean.
Well, with Zug, I had a slight strength advantage, so I knew I was just gonna have to bash him out, even though I wasn't really that much stronger. Because with the way his team was set up, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna score, and then, well, I assume I'm gonna score, and then he's gonna get the ball back, and with all that, wrestle and fend, he's just gonna have complete, board control really after that. So what I tried to do is try and, put all my efforts into trying to get someone off the field as soon as possible, and then tag up his lower strength pieces with my ogre and my hero guy.
All right, you guys executed the game plan like music, and Sturm, yours kind of did not execute as well as you would have liked him to, and it was just like an unraveling piece of yarn. So
it was not fun to watch. I'm like going, this is just ugly in all kinds of ways, and I'm like, I'm glad I don't have the announcers on, because which didn't pan out either. So whoops.
When I was looking at his team, and then when we were setting up, and at the beginning of the game, I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. Like he could really go either way. He could bash me. He could score 3 touchdowns that game. He could play a defensive game. So at the very beginning, I kind of left my left flank open to try and bait his pieces in deep, because if he came in deep, I was just going to try and run it up the field and then cage by the end zone, which happened anyway. But since he played a little more reserved with those pieces, I kind of had to bash my way for the first 4 or 5 turns.
Right. And that, it worked once you get a couple off, like Sturm said. You get a couple off, and that really helps. It just unravels from there. So, 2-0 start for the BallStars, and next week, who are you guys playing? Let's see. Looks like
goodness, we're playing the Norse.
Ooh, Solar Savers. That should be a good match too. The Solar Savers, fresh off a nasty drumming from the Black Marsh Monitors this week. I think they got beat 4-0. So I'm sure they'll be looking to rebound.
Yeah, I played against them last season in the challenge, and it was really close. I had a couple games last season where really it came down to 1 or 2 rolls, and it went my way.
It must have been another Norse team, because Solar Savers have been pro for a few seasons now.
Oh no, I'm talking about the Lizardman team.
Oh, the Lizardman. Oh, the Monitors. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They did very well in the challenge.
Yeah, I like to think I'm a good coach, but sometimes it really is just luck. like Sturm was saying, if you roll a 1, there's nothing you can really do about that, you know. So it's just, I used to get so frustrated when I roll like double 1s or double skulls. I'd just be like, oh my goodness, and even to a reroll and fail. But then I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm playing where it's like, if it's gonna be a 1, it's gonna be a 1, and there's nothing I can do about it, and I was gonna fail anyway. So you know, I might as well go for it.
Yeah, and I always say, like, good coaches will expect the 1s and just be ready to deal with it.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Konami just adjusted so much better. Like, I even pro'd into a skull. I'm like going, wow. I mean, I could not catch him. I'm like, I'm really a pro into a skull. I'm like, come on, give me a break.
You do get a cool game next week. The Morningstars versus the Grunts. You guys both long-standing veterans in the Dungeon West. So you had one tie and one loss to start off the season, Sturm. You can shake this off with a victory over the Grunts and be 1-1-1 and maybe back into playoff contention with that. You know, or at least a bowl game. So
yeah, absolutely. At least I'll have inducements. It seems. I was worried about team value. I don't have to worry about that anymore.
True. Yeah, the Grunts got some significant value. So, yeah, they're by a lot. They outvalue
I'm down to 1,500. I lost 300 points.
Yeah, so that should be an interesting match. We'll all be looking forward to it. Remember, do some time drills on the next one. Keep a clock, set an alarm. First move needs to be made by the 1 minute mark. No later. That's already running late. But no, great job, both of you guys. It's a pleasure to call it. Thanks for letting me call it. And look out, guys. USA BallStars had the best record in the Challenge League last season. It looks like they're starting off in the pros with a bang. Watch out for these Challenge League teams that make their way up to the pros. They're ready to win, and they're ready to win now. So. Good stuff, guys. If you're in the chat, again, you're watching the MML. This is MML, Meat and Mayhem League. It's a PS4 Blood Bowl league, and check us out. Learn more about us at MMLPro.com. That is MMLPro.com. You can see stories about these teams, like backstories. You can see statistics. You can see the cure for cancer. We've got it there. There are swimsuit models littered all over the page. They all know your name. Everybody loves you when you come to MMLPro.com. Check it out. All right, we're